Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Monday. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful day it is in Indianapolis. Let me get my pillow all situated. I just made a cup of coffee, my very first cup of coffee for the day. Got to get everything situated. Let me turn off I keep my display brightness on never while I'm filming so that I can look up stuff on my phone. Let me turn that off so that my phone will go off. Let me put my glasses over here. Here is my coffee that I just made. It's actually espresso. It's a Cafe Bustelo espresso. I was like, I haven't had a cup of coffee today. Alex is inside. He just heated up his Cuban from brunch yesterday. And he's eating. And he's watching, I think, is there a new season? I don't know. I don't watch this show. The Summer I Turned Pretty. He's watching that show, and he's got one dog on one side of him, one dog on the other side of him. So I told him, I said, I'm going to go outside and vlog. And he's like, okay. It is such a beautiful day in Indianapolis today. It's so pretty. Oh, this coffee is so good. And I put one raw sugar in there, too. And it's just perfect. All summer long, I've been drinking my coffee, mostly black. But today when I was making this espresso, I was like... I sound like I was like pressing the espresso maker. Today when I was making my cup of Keurig coffee, I was like, I think I want a sugar in it. Because sometimes when I have like really strong coffee, like one little sugar, like if I have an espresso, I always put sugar in espresso. Like if I have a little cup of espresso, we go somewhere. So I was like, tastes so good. I was like, I am going to put one little raw sugar in there. Let me pull you guys a little closer. Come closer, tiny dancer. Let's do a little time and temperature check, shall we? It is currently 6:04 p.m. And the temperature, it was supposed to be like 88 or 89 today. Let's see what the temperature is. It is currently 87 and fair. It has just been an absolutely beautiful day all day today. I think it's supposed to be nice all week. Let's see. Tomorrow, oh, my glasses are so dirty. I'm constantly changing out my glasses. I don't need to explain all this because you guys probably know which glasses I keep next to my computer and stuff. But these are my computer glasses. Well, one of my two pairs of computer glasses. But I'm sitting there and as I like am putting up videos and stuff, I'm constantly like taking the glasses off, putting them on, stuff like that. You know, like if you're my age when we grew up, you'd see like the librarian that had them around her neck, like on the necklace. I have filmed so many videos today that I'm kind of starting to lose my voice a little bit, I think. But do you guys remember the librarian or the teacher that would always have like her reading glasses? And you just thought it was like so old-timey and funny. I now totally understand why they did that. Because my neighbor, the gardener, I think her sister was visiting. Because I'm constantly picking up my glasses. Well, when you pick them up, often... I'm not, like, if I'm just sitting there at the computer, I'm not real careful with them. I just grab them, and then, like, there's fingerprints all over it. So, anyway, okay. Let's look at the temperature and the weather for the week ahead. All kinds of people are walking today because it's so beautiful. I will be walking today. As soon as I finish this vlog, I will be on my walk. Okay. Tomorrow, 86, full sunshine. Wednesday, 85, sunshine and clouds mixed. Thursday, 83, cloudy, considerable cloudiness. Friday, 86, mainly sunny skies. Saturday, when does it start getting cool? I mean, that's like the 4th of October. 86, 87, and then next Tuesday, it dips down to 79. But all of this could change, too. And then by the 12th, it's rainy and 71. Cloudy with showers. But that's like the 12th of October. I'm kind of ready now that, you know, summer's over and we've put that to bed. I'm kind of ready for the spooky, cloudy, rainy nights. See, this is what I do. And then, see, I just messed up my glasses after I just spent all this time cleaning it. Anyway, and then I just threw them down. Because you always want to put your glasses like this. Do you get what I'm saying? Like this. If you wear glasses or reading glasses, you don't want to put them down like that because then you have to clean them and they scratch. Anyway, these glasses are old, so I don't care as much. But I'm kind of ready. My neighbor's got her pumpkins out already. She got a bunch of pumpkins, and her and her friend were moving the pumpkins around, and she's got her, I really am kind of losing my voice. She's got her mums, like it doesn't hurt. I've just talked a lot today, I think. She's got her mums planted, and then she's got some mums that she's putting in her different, like, she puts them in different pots and stuff like that. And it's starting to look like a fall festival over there. Good thing I'm reading the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which actually takes place, I think it starts in August, so it's not really a fall book. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe was a fall book. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I just wondered? Do you ever just think random things? What random things? Put something random that you think about in the comment section below. I'll tell you something random I think about a lot. Just recently, I guess, well, for the last 2 months. If it's true, by the way, that Otis and Walter's birthday is May 28th, and yesterday was their 4-month birthday. I'm just saying, nobody wished them a happy birthday. I thought that was rather rude of you. I don't know really what their birthday is. Today I was looking at them. So before I start filming videos, like, we hang out in the bed and we play with toys and stuff like that. You know, I feel like I've learned something from, like, each dog that has, like, gotten sick, and then we've lost, you know, Pee-Pee and then Tucker and then Boo. That throughout the day, I try to really spend time just, like, being with the dogs. You know, I'm like, I really was excited about getting them. I really missed Boo. Like, I want to spend, like, quality time throughout the day. And, you know, luckily I'm in a job where I don't have to, like, rush. Although I did kind of feel like I was doing that a little bit today. But so in between each video, I, like, you know, take them out, spend time with them. But before I film my videos for the day, I bring them up on the bed, and I put all their toys in the bed that are upstairs and stuff like that. And I was looking at them today, and I was like, there was like a week where I felt like when we got back from Las Vegas, I felt like they had grown a lot. But since then, I don't really feel like they have. And the vet doesn't think they're going to grow a whole lot more. And so I'm like, I'm constantly in my head, like, is the vet wrong? Like, are they really only 4 months old? Or, you know, could it really be that they're 7 months old? Like, I look at them and I'm like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? They're very puppies. They act like puppies are sweet. But I'm constantly in my head about that. So random things that I just was thinking about, because one of them has to do with the dogs. That's why I was thinking that. So please, in the comment section below, put your random thoughts. That will drive me crazy that tonight I'll be like, oh my God, all these random thoughts. Can you tell what a good mood I'm in today? I'm in such a good mood today. Okay. So random thoughts. I think about random stuff all the time. Number one, I was just thinking about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So if you've read the books, well, I'm only on the second one, so it's not like I'm an expert. But the first one, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, takes place in, like, October, because it ends and then they go to her family's house for Thanksgiving, I think is how it ends. So, but then when the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore starts, Hazel's talking about like Jeannie and Logan from, like, the previous book and how they're together, but, like, she hasn't moved into his house yet. And it takes place in August. So that must be a year later, right? Like, do they talk about it in the book? I'm not that far into it yet. But, like, I'm like, oh, so is each book, like, a year later? Do you know what I mean? Because I kind of live in my head, like, in Dream Harbor now. I love those books. Like, I have to tell you, last night, I read quite a bit last night. So I'm obsessed with those books. But the book that I'm really, really into right now, which kind of surprises me, because when I started it, I was like, yeah, it's really not written that well, and I'm really not into that. I was into it, but I was like, it'll be a fine mystery. It'll be a fine mystery, but it won't be anything good. I am so into that Freedom McFadden. I need to just read, like, listen, I need to stop trying to find the most, you know, obscure book, and I need to read what everybody else reads, because everybody else must just be right about it, because that Freedom McFadden book, that Do Not Disturb, I literally sat in that chair last night and read, like, 8 chapters in a row. I'm, like, obsessed with it. And it's not even, like, one of her best books. It's not. I mean, like, the Housemaid series, like, I've only read the first 2 out of the 3, but, and I think there's a Housemaid's Wedding or something like that, too, which is, like, a novella. But I've been sitting all day on my bed like this, and so my middle back is really hurting. But anyway, the Housemaid books are written pretty well. Like, the writing and the dialogue and stuff is well done in it. This book, it's not. Like, the dialogue's not great. But I don't know what it is. It's about, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's about this woman that kills her husband. You don't really know why at first, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but you kind of have it figured out that he's, like, abusive. And it's, I mean, she explains it very early on what happened. But then she's like, if I stay, he was like this really powerful person. So like, she'll, you know, go to prison for it, blah, blah, blah. If I run, she'll never get to see her sister again. But like, she'll have like some semblance of a life. So she runs. So that's what it's about. It's about her being on the run. It kind of reminds me of, well, it's scarier than this though, but kind of. Did you ever watch the movie Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts back in the day? I loved that movie. Oh my God, I should watch that movie again. I saw that movie so many times back in the day. There was, what was the movie? Julia Roberts was in some really good movies back in the day. Anyway, Sleeping with the Enemy. My friends and I, we must have seen it in the movie theater because we like ended up buying the tape cassette to that song Brown Eyed Girl. Do you remember that? Is it? Do you guys know that song? Is that what the song's called? What is that song called? Hold on a second. Shoot. They do like, she's like in the costume department and Van Morrison, yeah. Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came. Down in the hollow, playing a new game. Do you guys remember that scene from Sleeping with the Enemy? Where she meets that guy. And he's like real good looking, or at least I thought he was back then. Who was that guy? Was it Patrick something? Sleeping. And her husband's like real good looking too, but he's real mean and abusive. Sleeping with the Enemy. Cast. Kevin Anderson. Patrick Bergen played her husband. He was better looking in the movie. But anyway, Kevin Anderson, what happened to him? Is he still around? Has he done any movies lately? Doesn't look like it. What happened to him? What was that other movie though? Oh my God, my friends and I. But we bought that. Did you guys used to do that back in the day? You would buy like, I love soundtracks. Soundtracks were some of my favorite like albums of music, by the way. By the way. But it's my two friends. When did that movie come out? Because that would have probably been when I was like in college. Somebody was asking me the other day, they said, I'd like to hear more about your college experiences. We'll get to that in just a second. But what year did that movie come out? Hold on. 1991. Yeah, I would have been in college because I can remember my two friends. It was my friend that I went to elementary, junior high, high school, college, graduate school with. She and I, and then this other friend of ours, like the three of us were like best friends in college. Our one friend, she went to IU Bloomington for a semester and then she moved back here. So we would go see movies and stuff. What was that one where Julia Roberts was like, she was a nurse, but she wasn't really a nurse? Campbell. Bruce, was it not Bruce Campbell's son? Was it his son? Julia Roberts movies. Do you know that one movie that she was in, my mom loved? It was like one of her very first movies. Mystic Pizza, my mom loved that movie. You know what? I don't even know that I've seen that movie all the way through. Movies. What was that? She was in the Smurfs? Who knew? I guess I haven't seen a lot of her movies. What was that movie though where the guy, she was like a nurse and the guy had cancer and he was dying and it was so romantical. Oh, I love that movie. What was that movie called? Oh, The Pelican Brief. Oh, Dying Young. Dying Young, that's what it was called. Oh my God, do you guys remember her in Flatliners? I was just talking about that movie to somebody the other day. Okay, Dying Young. Who was the guy that was in that? Campbell Scott. I said Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell, I think, was in that movie about AIDS that I love. What was it called? Longtime Companion. Answering an ad for an attractive female to... Here it is. Do you guys remember this movie? To care for a sick young man, Hillary, played by Julia Roberts, becomes the caretaker of a smart, well-bred Victor, played by Campbell Scott, who is fighting leukemia. Their business relationship slowly develops into a romance. Oh my God, what happened to him? Where's he at these days? Is he still doing stuff? Campbell Scott. Comes up Campbell Soup. Oh my God, he looks so old. He's 64. Where is he? Is he doing anything today? It shows that the first movie it shows is dying young. Now, you know that is it because I just looked it up and that's like the AI thing? Oh, he was in Jurassic World Dominion. Was he though? Singles. Do you guys remember that movie? He hasn't really done a whole lot of movies since. I think Dying Young and Jurassic Park was maybe his two. This is my random thought. See, this is what happens. This is what goes on. See, now I dirtied up my glasses again. It's your fault. It's your fault. What happened? Okay. Who is texting me? Hold on a second. Nikki's texting me. My random thoughts. Oh, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So they must take place like a year apart, each one, or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, that was my one random thought that I was thinking earlier today. Because I did my review of Pumpkin Spice Cafe on my BookTube channel. But my other thought, I've actually had this before with like Boo and Tucker and Pee-Pee, but I was thinking about this with Walter and Otis. They don't know their names yet, you know. Otis, I think, like when we call Otis, he kind of like turns his head, like he's starting to get it. But I don't think Walter gets it. I don't know that Boo Radley ever knew his name, if you want to know the truth. Like, I don't know that he ever, like, he either never knew his name or he just wasn't bothered if we called him. Is really what it was. He was so cute, little Boo Radley. But, so I was thinking today, because I was like, Alex and I yesterday, Alex is like, do you think they know their names yet? And I said, I don't know. And so Alex was like, Otis. And every time Alex would call Otis, he would like turn and like come over to Alex. And so, it's becoming very evident which dog is bonding with who. So Otis is bonding with Alex and Walter is bonding with me. We love them both equally, but it's becoming very obvious which dog is bonding with which person. So I don't know if it was just because like every time Alex said something, Otis goes over to him or not. Because if I say something, Walter comes to me. So the whole bonding thing, right? But today I was thinking, because I was like, they were on the bed and they were playing and stuff like that. And I was like, Otis. And Otis didn't come to me. He doesn't. You know, he comes to Alex, but he doesn't come to me. But I was like, Walter. And then Walter like stood up and walked over to me. So I was like, you know, I've always been curious about like if dogs talk to each other. Because they do this thing where they're like, you know, they do that little noise thing. It's so funny because I'll do it. And then they'll like look at me and they cock their heads like, what's dad doing? Like, and I'll go, and they're like, what are you saying to us? We don't know that. We only know it when we do it to each other. But anyway, they did this little like voice talking thing. Boo and Tucker did too when they were little. I don't know. Is that like a littermate thing or just a puppy thing? I don't know. Like, well, Boo and Tucker did it their whole life where they were kind of like do that little like, like not like one of them would do it and then but like if they were like right next to each other or something, they would do like that little thing. It was real cute. They do it a lot. Walter and Otis do it a lot. So I'm like, imagine this conversation that Walter and Otis are having. And Otis is like, because Otis is very much like the alpha dog. And Walter's kind of just like, do. Like, what are we doing, Otis? And Otis is like, come on, we're going over here and we're going to destroy this wood table. And Walter's like, oh, I don't know if we should. Dad might get mad. And then he's like, no, Dad won't know. And then like, they're like, Walter's like, no, Otis, I don't think you should do that. And Otis is like, arr, 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 arr. And then I come into the room and then Otis is like, wasn't me, it was Walter. And Walter's like, Walter's me. The kid that always gets caught in class talking. And I wasn't even talking, you know? So anyway, but that's who they are, okay? Like, that's who the dogs are. Otis is running the show. Let's just make that very clear, for as little as he is. So, and he walks like this. It's so funny because Walter just follows him around. And Otis is like, come on, we're going over here, Walter. And then Walter, like, goes up the stairs. It's just real funny. But I was imagining this whole conversation with them. And I was like, through the years, I have always, like, given personalities and lives and all kinds of stuff to my dogs, you know, when I, like, tell these stories about them. But they are very much like that. It's so funny. Like, Alex and I were talking about it because they are so funny together. But So I was imagining today when I was playing in bed, I was like calling them, and like Walter came to me, but Otis wouldn't. And I was like, I can just imagine this conversation. And Otis is like, why does he keep on calling us that? And Walter's like, what? And he's like, he keeps on calling you Walter, and he calls me Otis. Those aren't even our names. And he's like, well, I don't know. Like, what if their names are like John and Bo or something like that? Do you know what I mean? Like if their real names were that, and like, you know, that they knew that those were their names. But I've like spent a lot of time thinking about this. Like, it wasn't just in bed today. Like, I was thinking about it when I was like brushing my teeth the other day. Because they came in and they were like doing that little talking to themselves thing where they're, and I was like, I wonder if they're like, what if they're talking about me? You know what I mean? And I don't know it. And then what do they say? You know what I mean? Anyway, they're so sweet. Today has been a good day. I have to be honest with you. When I woke up today, hold on a second. I always ask people questions while I'm vlogging, and then they text me back. I asked Nikki a question, and hold on, I'll tell her I'm vlogging. When I woke up today, I got a really good night's sleep last night. And the dogs this morning, I got them up, took them out. It was beautiful this morning too. I feel like this camera is kind of weirdly turned. But anyway, took them out this morning, brought them back to bed. They slept so good this morning with me. I was so cozy. They slept right next to me. I was so cozy. I will tell you one thing I noticed today, which I haven't noticed since, so I think I shared this after hold on a second, she texted me back. She'd be a little smart ass today. She's gonna wait over there then. I kind of was like not sure I wanted to share this online because I feel like whenever I share medical and stuff, you know, but you know what? If anybody else has had this experience or has this experience and it helps somebody, then I'll share it. So my doctor started me on, I think I shared this after I went to the doctor, on Lexapro for my anxiety. I really struggled with it like the first week. I was really, really tired on it. It almost made me feel, and I sent a little message on the message board to the doctor. He said, this is very normal side effects. I also looked it up. Alex also has a friend that's on Lexapro. She said that she suffered the exact same side effects the first month. I felt very, very shaky, like the first, I would say, 4 or 5 days. Like I would stand up and I felt like really, really lightheaded. It was not my blood pressure. My blood pressure was fine. It was not my blood sugar. That was completely ruled out. All that stuff was fine. It was directly from the medicine. I could tell. I mean, like, I started taking the medicine and it was like an hour after I took it. I would like stand up and I'd be like, and I was like, I noticed I was shaking and stuff like that. What I started doing was I started taking, he suggested I take it later in the day. So I now take it later in the day, and that has really, really helped me. So like the last 2 or 3 days, I haven't really had any of the side effects. I've been tired, but I haven't really had any of the side effects from the Lexapro. Today though, and I don't know if I just haven't noticed it, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I slept super deep last night. I slept really, really well last night. But when I woke up today, I was like, I feel like I haven't had it in a couple days. I felt like I was like shaking from the inside out. Now I know that it's going to take like 4 to 6 weeks for it to build up in my system and really work. And he said that even then it might not take it away. We might have to like arrange dosages, change medications, all that kind of stuff. And he's working with my therapist on that. So, and I don't want to have some long conversation about it. I just kind of want to let you guys know where I'm at with it. But today was like the first day that I had noticed that I woke up feeling that anxious when I woke up. And it was weird because last night I had a great night. I was very relaxed last night, read a lot, watched really good shows last night, went to bed. I felt right asleep. I haven't really been having a problem falling asleep like I used to back in the day. Even when I like drink a cup of coffee like an hour before I go to bed, I go like right upstairs and I fall right asleep. And when Alex leaves, I get up and get the dogs and take them out, and I don't have a problem taking them out. I bring them back upstairs and I typically fall right back asleep again. I don't know what has changed. I'm not taking anything for sleep. For a while I was taking the trazodone, the doxepin. I don't take that anymore. So I don't know what has changed with the sleep. I don't know if it's just I'm tired or whatever it is, but like I haven't been having a hard time sleeping. But I kind of feel like I slept so deep that, I don't know, maybe it was just like, I don't usually go into REM sleep or something. I don't know, but today I woke up and I felt full on shaky. So when I woke up today, you know, I hadn't, other than my vlog, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I hadn't filmed any videos. And so I was like, I want to get back to filming videos today. Like, full on, I want to film like a video on every one of my channels. That was my plan today. But when I woke up, in all honesty, when I woke up, the dogs were still asleep, and they were laying next to me, and I just kind of laid there, and I was like, usually I'm pretty rushed around it when I get up. Like, get up, take them out, feed them, take them out again, do some leash training, then I play with them on the bed, then I start filming. I'm kind of like, let's get this day going. Today I was like, you need to just take a couple minutes to yourself, and I am also fully aware, and I just want to say this, that I am fully aware, I understand this from my therapist, I understand this from my doctor, that it's a lot of work that goes into working through anxiety. It's not, the pill is not a quick fix. I 100% understand that, okay? I've been very educated on this and very I'm willing to take it and try it, but it's not like I don't believe that there are other things I'm gonna have to do to work through the anxiety, and I'm doing those things with my therapist. So anyway, and I don't feel anywhere near like I did when Boo Radley passed away. Like, I'm much better now than I was then. It's just there's so many gnats and bugs around here. It's just the lingering effects have continued so long, and you know, next month is a year since Boo Radley's passed, and if it was situational, it would have gone away. A lot of what my therapist believes is that the anxiety existed a long time ago, and that my OCD rituals were defenses against anxiety. Now that I have worked away from the OCD rituals and they don't exist anymore, there's like one or two lingering ones that come up every once in a while, the anxiety is pushed through a lot more. Which is a lot of why he wanted me to do the ADHD testing and see if it was ADHD driven anxiety or whatever. So that's just, it's like I've said this a million times. I don't want to be somebody that's like, I have this, and this. It's not about the diagnoses for me. It's about understanding how I maneuver through the world better, if that makes sense. But like, I knew I wasn't going to take it, and it was like the next day I was going to feel 100% better. I just want to make that clear, because I know people will be like, Peter, you have to like give it, I understand this fully, okay? But today I was laying there in bed, and I just was like, I don't know, I just didn't, I felt very anxious. I felt very, almost kind of in a way that it wasn't just the physical response. In my head, I felt very anxious in a way that I don't typically feel. And I was like, the dogs are asleep. You need to just lay here for a moment. Not to go back to sleep, but I laid there for a moment and just kind of like listen to the fan. I mean, I have some exercises that I do, and some like things I say to myself and whatever that my therapist has given me, and those things have been really, really helpful to me to kind of center me in the now. Those have been super, super helpful for me, and so I did those this morning. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm up. Like, I need to get out of bed. And I got up, and I took them out and fed them, and then took them out again, and we did leash training and talked to some of my neighbors. And after a while, I started feeling a little bit better. And it just kind of like, I don't know, it was like one moment it was there, and the next moment it wasn't. I don't know why this morning, though, but when I woke up this morning, I was like, in all honesty, I was like, I don't think I'm going to film a whole lot today. I just did not feel it. I was like, you know, it's hard to get on video and film even a vlog if I'm like really struggling, you know, which I think is one of the reasons why, like on the vlog, it's like usually at the end of the day. So by then I'm pretty like centered and focused. So I did all that, and I was like, I don't think that I'm probably going to film a whole lot. I did all this stuff with the dogs, and then I came out here and drank a glass of water, and I did my prayers and my meditations. And my prayers and meditations are a lot of just me having conscious conversation with my higher power. And a lot of it is just like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this today. I don't know what's going on with me. Please watch over me, you know, things like that. And it was weird because I just was kind of like, I'm not going to go another day and not film videos. And so I was sitting down and I had made a list of videos that I wanted to film, and I was kind of going through it. I had taken notes on Sister Wives last night. I was kind of looking through some of my Sister Wives things. And then I was playing on the bed with the dogs, and it just kind of went away. It was the weirdest thing. Like, it just kind of like the camera stopped. It was like 1 second it was there and the next second it was gone. I have no idea. I just like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I honestly cannot figure it out. But I think that's like the hardest thing in explaining it to people, because, I mean, even close friends of mine, like, you know, Tanya gets it because she suffered from anxiety for a long time. And so, like, I've talked to Tanya. Tanya's been really, really helpful with me about it. My therapist and my sponsor have been super helpful to me about it. Somebody's putting something in my neighbor's mailbox. She put it in there. Who is that person? Like a couple out there. Anyway, they've been really, really helpful to me, but I'm not sure what's going on right now. There's this couple out there. I'm trying not to talk real loud because I don't know how well they can hear. They're literally standing like right there at my neighbor's mailbox, and they just put something in, and then they took a picture of it. I've seen them there before. I think they might be part of the garden club or something like that. There's like a garden club and there's like a landscaping club. I think they might be part of the garden club because I've seen him over here before talking to the gardener about her flowers. Anyway, that's been really, really helpful to talk to people that have experienced it. But like when I'm trying to explain it to people, like even like today, it's like, I think if you're somebody that suffered from anxiety, you'll know what I'm talking about. I think there's like this innate response to want to say, I think I feel anxious because of this, like this is going on or that's going on, or wanting to, you know, this is the weirdest thing. I have no idea what's going on. They like put some big envelope in their mailbox, and then she was like taking pictures of stuff like of their mailbox. It was really weird. Then they just walked away. Anyway, you know, I'll be asking my neighbor about it later. I'll be like, what's going on with all that? I think there's like this part of you that when you're feeling that way, I think that our society is just prone to think like, I think feeling anxious, okay, I don't know if I'm explaining this well or not. Anxiety, from my experience, is different than having a physical response of being anxious to something that is occurring, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it the way that I want to say it. What I mean by that is that, like, if I say, like, hey, if I say that, that's my neighbor that can't hear real well, I love her. If I say, like, I'm anxious about, like, a doctor's appointment, or I'm anxious about this, right? Like, that's different than me saying my anxiety or something like that. Does that make sense? Like, but because we use those same words to describe things, then when you say something about, like, my anxiety is, like, hardcore today, the immediate response is, well, what's making you anxious? And I think we're even, I'm maybe I shouldn't say that about other people. I feel like, I shouldn't say that, but I feel like I'm even programmed, because this is new to me in the last year, to think, well, what's making you anxious? Like, what is it that's making you anxious? When the reality is, like, when I look at the last 24 hours, it's nothing that's making me anxious. Like, I got a good night's sleep. I was very relaxed last night. I read a lot. I watched TV. I hung out with Alex and the dogs. I had a great night last night. I got a good night's sleep. I woke up very comfy, cozy next to the dogs. Nothing out of the ordinary. No worries. Why am I feeling that way today? And I think that has been one of the biggest struggles for me, and talking myself down, but also in explaining it to other people. Because the feeling that it feels like is something is wrong. And that is kind of a precursor to how OCD felt for me. Like, if you don't do this, then something's going to happen. And so the feeling with anxiety is almost kind of like, something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. What is wrong? I don't know if I'm explaining. I probably am doing a horrible job explaining this. I'm just trying to explain it from my point of view. But it almost kind of feels like something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. And then your mind almost, or my mind almost kind of searches for things that it could be. When in reality, it's just a physical response that some people have that other people don't. And I'm really trying hard to learn that. Like, Tanya has been so good with helping me, because she's like, babe, there are just days over the last 50 years of my life that some days I am better off than others. And it has absolutely nothing. She's like, I could be like laying on a beach and feel like I am fully anxious that day. And it could have absolutely nothing I have nothing to do that day, no worries, and that day's just when it hits. And I think that's the hardest thing for me, is understanding that, because I'm very solution oriented. So I'm wanting to look, and when I feel that way, being like, what is the cause of this? What is going on? And other people, that don't understand it, they'll say things like, well, is it this or is it that? Whatever. I mean, I just recently had blood work done, went in to see the doctor. Everything medically is great. So I think we have a hard time in our society believing that it could be, it's like we look for cause and effect, right? When the reality is, it's just anxiety. And I'm really struggling to kind of try to understand that even on my own, let alone to explain that to somebody else. And it's weird because, like, today, I was in a place where I was like, I don't think I'm going to film any videos today. Like, it wasn't even like I just want to sit in a chair and read. It was like, I didn't want to do anything. Like, I was just like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay in this bed and be with the dogs because they feel safe to me. That's how I felt. And then I really didn't think I was going to talk about this today at all. I really didn't. But whatever. This is my story. And then I was playing with the dogs in the bed, and I was like, film a video. I put my list together and stuff, and it just kind of it went away. And it was so weird because in between some video, I brought them out here, and one of my neighbors was walking by, and she hadn't been by in like a week, and so she was like, oh my God, it's so good to see them. And like, I'm, got the leashes, and I'm taking them over to her and whatever, and we're talking, and the sun was just shining, and Otis was playing he loves to play with leaves, and I just was like, all of a sudden, I realized and acknowledged that I felt so much better than I did this morning. And I was like, and in that moment, it was just like beautiful. Right now, like, the sun is shining through like the trees, onto the grass. It's just beautiful out there. And I was like, I don't know why I always think of apple orchards, but I was like, what changed? Like, what happened? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think that's why I'm such a firm believer, for me, and just trying to put one foot in front of the next, because eventually I think I'll get there. That's the only thing that's worked for me. Whether it comes with the anxiety now or with my sobriety back in the day. I can remember, it wasn't just my early days of like first 30, 60 days sober. It was like my first couple years sober. I can remember there were some days where it wasn't really like, I think like maybe one of the misconceptions about sobriety is that the hardest part is really about like the cravings and stuff like that. Cravings were hard for me early on. I've talked a lot about that, about how it was like minute by minute for me sometimes. That was initially the hardest thing for me, because it was like, if I don't stay sober, I don't have a chance, right? But I think after a while, what was even harder than that, when you are sober for a while and you get a job and you make some new friends and you're, I can remember like being around my dad and my stepmom, and at the same time, I'm doing step work, right? And so when we're doing step work, we're looking at who we harmed. We're looking at, our resentments, but we're looking at our part in that as well. And I can remember my dad and my stepmom, we had a lot of very, very serious conversations, I would say, my first 2 years sober, about my use and how it affected them and things like that. But they were also very gracious. They really were. And I think in wanting me to feel safe and wanting me to feel welcome and things like that. And I can remember like, I get asked this, when I do recovery videos, I get asked this a little bit, and I don't really know the answer to it, honestly. But it was like coming to terms with how you had affected other people. Like, I didn't really know how to do that. Like, I had to live with all that in my head. You know, I can remember my first therapist at a treatment saying to me, this idea of more will be revealed. I kept on hearing that in meetings. More will be revealed. More will be revealed. And I can remember saying things like, I didn't remember. It's the ducks, or I think it's the geese. But I don't see them. And when I walk, I don't see them. And they sure haven't landed in my yard. So, except for that one day. But I remember thinking that statement meant about blacking out. Because there was so much that I didn't remember from blacking out. And I remember thinking that and talking to my therapist about it. And he said, I don't think that that's necessarily what it means. He goes, I think the mind, the brain remembers things when it wants to, but sometimes it protects us against remembering other things that are too painful, that are too hard. I have to say, in my 30 years of sobriety, I have talked too much today. In my 30 years of sobriety, I haven't, well, I don't even, I mean, in all honesty, I mean, it's been 30 years. Like, I don't even remember. There's some specific nights I remember, but not the average night. There haven't been a lot of things from blackouts that I've remembered. I think I thought that over time, I'd be like, oh, this happened. I have glimpses of maybe like, oh, I was here, or I was there, or I remember that. But I haven't had a lot where I've been like all the, like a flashback, like they talk. I've really never had that. But I think that what was hard was that when I was using, intentionally or otherwise, you know, I think a lot of the harm that we do to other people using is not intentional. I think one of the things is like, that I hear a lot of people, like their families and loved ones say is, if you loved me, then you wouldn't do this to me. Or if you loved me, then you would get sober. Well, if love was enough, then we wouldn't need treatment programs, churches. We wouldn't need therapists. We wouldn't, I mean, if love were enough, we wouldn't need 12-step programs, all that, right? But I also think, like, I don't remember ever, like, using to piss somebody off. I don't remember ever doing that. I was way too selfish to do that. Like, I was way too selfish to be like, I'm going to show you and I'm going to go get drunk. Like, I don't remember doing that. I do remember being like, getting in fights with my dad and being like, F you, I'm going to go get drunk. Now I remember that. But I was using that as an excuse. I can remember, you know, like fighting with people that I dated or being pissed at them and whatever. But I don't remember, like, I think that's another misconception that, like, we're, like, addicts and alcoholics do this to hurt other people. I think we're fully aware, even in the depths of our use, I think most of us are fully aware that we're hurting ourselves. And I think we're also fully aware that we're hurting other people. I mean, one of the reasons why I kept drinking and drugging was because I knew that I had dug a hole so deep and that I was hurting myself and I was hurting other people. Now, that's just my experience. I've talked to other people that are like, no, I did not know that. But I find that hard to believe. For me, and I can only speak to my experience, I fully knew that my lifestyle of me using every single day and drinking was hurting me. Dropping out of school, not having any, I mean, I knew that how I was living my life was hurting me. I knew that. I also knew that people were very concerned about me, including my friends. I think I cared more about my friends than I did my family, in all honesty. But I knew that I was hurting them as well, and I was worrying them. I think I got to the point where I didn't care, and I was like, that's a you problem, not a me problem. I had to get there to continue to use. And the only way that I knew how to survive was to continue to use. Because I didn't know how to get sober. It had been introduced to me and had been offered to me. I just didn't see it as reality. So until my ass was stuck in a treatment program and it was blizzard conditions outside and I couldn't leave and nobody was going to come and pick me up, only then was I forced to have to deal with the life that I had made for myself. But until that moment, I was not going to deal with it. And so I think it was easier for me to say, I don't care about you, and I don't care if I'm hurting you. When the reality was, if you had gotten me sober for 24 hours, and clear-headed, I really did care that I was hurting myself. And I probably cared less that I was hurting myself than I did other people. Really, I truly did. So it's not a truism that addicts and alcoholics don't care that they're hurting other people. They do. They keep on using because it's too painful to look at. So one of the hardest things for me when I got sober was probably after a year when I realized what damage I really had done to people. Because I'm doing step work and I'm looking at that stuff and I'm making amends to people and they're telling me their side of it, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking like I remember, I've shared this story a lot in meetings, so I'll share it with you. When people talk about doing their 4-step, which is an inventory, right? And you write it all down and then you make a list of your resentments, you make a list of your fears, and you make a list of your conduct. And then in your 5th step, you go over that with your sponsor. Some people do it with other people, but some people do it in a group setting. I've only heard one person that's ever done that. It was out of a group in Florida. Some people do it. My mom did hers with her sponsor, and she also did hers with her pastor. Some people do it, but it's recommended that you do it with a 12-step person. I don't really know a lot of people that don't do it with a sponsor in a 12-step program, but my mom wanted to go over it with her pastor, so she did. But anyway, she did it with her sponsor first. And so I've heard so many people talk about, when they went over it, and then what you do in an inventory is, so you list a resentment that you have towards, that's where you start. You list a resentment that you have towards somebody. I'm just using this as an example of part of inventory. A resentment that you have towards somebody or a situation or organization, okay? And then how did that affect you? What was it that happened that made you resentful? And then what happened? What areas of your life did it affect? Well, when you get to the 4th column is where you look at, well, what's my part in that? Well, what did I do? Okay? Now, when you're talking about abusive situations from childhood or whatever, it's real hard. It's really hard to have a part in that. Some of the ways that it was presented to me later, once I was much sober, I don't think that somebody could have said this to me at a year sober and I would have heard it, but I'm talking years and years later, was that maybe my part in it today is, am I holding on to it? Am I willing to grow and heal through it? What am I doing with it? Am I sitting in it today, or am I willing to take it to therapy and heal on it? Maybe if I have a part, I didn't have a part in what happened to me, I didn't ask for that, I was too young, whatever. But maybe my part today, and that's the only way that it's been explained to me ever. My sponsor today is a lot of things you don't have a part in. But our way of looking at it is doing inventory is looking at what part do I have a part in something that happened? If I got in an argument with somebody, is there something that I can own? Because then that helps us look at what parts do we have to clean up and take responsibility for. So, as I'm doing that, and I'm looking and I'm realizing that I caused a lot of damage when I was using, a lot. But I would hear people and they would be like, oh my God, when I got done with my 4th and 5th, when I got done with my 5th step, I felt so good. I felt like this weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And I will never forget the first time I shared in a meeting. And I was almost kind of scared to share it. And I said, that was not my experience. When I got done with my 5th step, I felt like shit. I felt like it was all on paper what a horrible person I was. And I had written it and I knew it. It was all there. And I'll never forget, somebody came up to me afterwards and said I felt the exact same way. It was only for me, okay? And going on to 6 and 7, this is why I believe in working the steps all the way through, obviously, is looking at 6 and 7, which is about character defects, and then looking at 8 and 9. 8 and 9, for me, which is the amends process, is where we get to correct the wrongs of our past. Well, at 2-3 years sober, I'm deep into my amends. Well, that's a part of heavy reflection where you're looking at yourself and you're going, I really hurt a lot of people. But you're also far enough away, hopefully, from that first drink or drug, that you're starting to really question that that's an option for you. So when people ask me what were some of the hardest times for me in early recovery, those were some of the hardest times for me in early recovery, was to really look at the damage that I had done while using, but also knowing that drinking and drugging was not going to be an option for me going forward, or that it couldn't be, or I'd end up right back to where I was hurting people again. I think that was probably one of the hardest things for me. How did I even get into this conversation today? I have no idea. Anyway, these are the conversations you guys sometimes like, and then I'm I don't even know how I got here. I'm rewinding. I just remember talking about Otis and Walter, or their names in their bed. I was talking about anxiety, tough tough parts to do with anxiety. I was comparing anxiety to something to do with early recovery. I don't know what I was saying about it. Anyway, that was a side road off into the world of recovery. You look tired from pickleball.
Yes.
How was it?
It was fun.
How many of you were there?
There were just 3.
It's hot today, though.
Yes, it's very hot.
Did you have fun?
We played cutthroat with 3.
What does that mean?
Each keep our own score.
Oh, okay.
So we're playing against each other.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Well, enjoy your night. It was good seeing you. She's so sweet. She's involved in like everything in the neighborhood. And you would never guess it either because she's like real quiet and stuff like that. But she's like part of the gardening club, the landscaping club, the pool keeping club. She's like part of pickleball. She's like does the water aerobics. There was only 4 of them that did water aerobics this year. I would do it, but they do it really, really early. Who is texting me? Oh, it's our family group text. So, yeah, so things got better throughout the day with the anxiety, and then I ended up filming. The only channel that I didn't film on today was my Peter Does Stuff channel. And I was going to do that, but then Alex texted me and he was like, he was on his way home. So I was like, okay. So I got a lot of videos done today. I was kind of surprised. And then it was weird. What was I talking about that took me down to the recovery road? I was talking about, I was comparing it to something that would do with anxiety. I don't remember. If it was important and you guys want me to come back to it, put it in the comment section, because I don't watch these vlogs back, and then I will come back to it tomorrow. But I was talking about staying in the yard, and I don't know, just something changed. It was the weirdest thing. Just something changed in me today. And then I just was like, from the point that I started filming videos, well, the point that I was really standing out here and then playing with the dogs in the bed, it was like, I just started getting better and better. I don't really know how to explain it. It's almost kind of like a lightning. Not lightning, like lightning strikes, but like a lightning of my, like the anxiety, it starts to kind of like go away. I can almost kind of feel it. It's the weirdest thing. And then I just was like, I don't know, I just was in like this blissful mood. It was the weirdest thing. It was just like the weirdest thing. So the day started off a little rough, but it ended up being a really, really good day. So, and now I'm ending it with you guys, and tonight I'm going to take a walk. I started a new show last night called The Dublin Murders on BritBox. It just came out. So, there was something I was going to tell you guys. I said I'll tell you guys later about that. Now I don't remember what it was. What did I do last night is what I need to talk about. But anyway, tonight I'm going to take my walk, listen to my audiobook, come back, take a shower, take a nap, and then I will get up with the pups and I will read. I really want to read. The Frida McFadden book, it says Do Not Disturb. I really like it. Is it a really well-written book? No, it's not the greatest. But I don't know what it is about it. It's like each chapter is like 6 to 8 pages. It is, when you talk about a page turner, it is a page turner. I'm really enjoying it. But last night I read a little bit of each of my books. So I read like 2 or 3 chapters in Nuclear Dawn. I'm trying to finish all of them in like the next 2 weeks to start a new round of books. So I finished like 2 to 3. If you want to do the Halloween read along with me, by the way, it's the video's on my BookTube channel. Today I did my reaction and review to the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It's called The 31st Trick-or-Treater, and I think it's free on Kindle Unlimited. And it's like an advent calendar Halloween countdown. So all you have to do is just read it, and then at the end of the month, I'll probably talk about it. But yeah, the Nuclear Dawn book, I think I have like 80 pages of that left. I really like that. I feel like I'm kind of stuck. They're just in this movie theater. They don't really do a whole lot except for talk. And then, oh, Ice Alien Barbarians. Anybody that's read it out there, like, I don't have a problem with this, but it's not enjoyable for me to read when it's the entirety of the book. Is the entire book erotica? Like, they're in a cave, and like, it's literally like they do nothing except for talking about sex. Like, it's all they talk about. And last night I read a chapter, and then it switches back and forth between him and her, and, like, the chapter was him, and all it is him talking about, like, he has to protect her, and Georgie is her name, and Vectel is his name, and he has to protect her, but then she's coming close. And if you read the physical copybook, I don't know how it sounds on Audible, but if you read the physical copybook, like, he doesn't understand what she's saying, and she doesn't understand what he's saying, and so the way that they, like, translate the words is, like, kind of hard to read. And so, but, like, while she's, like, scared of her friends that are dying in this plane, or this, anyway, she's, like, wanting to get it on with him, and he's like, no, and then she doesn't understand. It's like 2 chapters. I mean, it's like every chapter is like very sexual, which it's like, that's fine. I don't care if that's what you're into, but like, I don't find that super enjoyable. I mean, I can read it, like if it's part of a book, but if that's the whole book, then I'm just going to DNF it, because I'm like really close to DNFing this book right now anyway. I'll be honest with you. Like, it's really not that interesting to me. So, and I'm really struggling. I think I'm right now at like the 120 page mark and there's like 300 and some pages in Ice Alien Barbarians. I'd really like to finish it just to say that I finished it. When I read it, I have to be honest with you, like, I'm really surprised that this book did so well. I really kind of just want to find out what happens, and like, does she find this, like, what I find interesting, I don't know, like, I'm like, does she find the town that he lives in? Do they go live there? Do they end up forever? Apparently there's like 10 books in the series. I don't really care. I mean, I understand that it's like a fantasy for some people that, like, but to me it's not. And so I'm more interested in, like, what does his town look like? What does his house look like? You know, does he have a family? Like, the rest, it's like, so, it's very, very sexual book. Like, in a way that I didn't expect it to be. And like I said, it doesn't bother me. Like, I can read it. But is it like, are we getting to something? Or are they just going to be in this cave forever doing it? Because I'm kind of like over that. Like, it's very repetitive to me. And I'm like, when I'm reading it, I'm like, who is so interested in this book about this chick doing it with this alien? Like, to me, it's just kind of like, I mean, and now she's like, it's weird because like the things that she didn't find attractive about him are now the things that she finds attractive about him. I don't know, but it's all just it's all just sex. So, does anything else happen in the book, or do they just have sex in a cave for like 300 pages? Because if that's the case, then I'm done. I'm out, because I'm just over it, really. And then Confessions of the Dead, the James Patterson book. I read a couple chapters in that last night. I really enjoyed that. And then, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Oh, it's so good. And you don't really get to know Noah in the first book in Pumpkin Spice Cafe, except for he's Logan's friend. So you get to know him more in his backstory in this one. And I really, really like Noah. So, anyway. So those are what I read. And then last night, Sunday. So last night I watched the end of... Oh, you know what? I was going to do that video today, too. Damn it. I forgot to do that. Well, tomorrow will be... Who'd care, right? I was going to do a video reacting to the finale of Big Brother. So... How can I say this in a way that won't ruin it for anybody that hasn't watched it yet? I can't believe you're watching my vlog instead of the finale of Big Brother, as I'll say. Okay, I guessed completely wrong what was going to happen at the end, number one. Number two, I was very, very happy, like ecstatic with the outcome of Big Brother. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting is I put it up on my Instagram and I said I'm so happy that it's like one of the worst seasons ever is coming to an end. And I got a couple DMs from people that are like, I loved this season. Why didn't you like this season? The season was boring, okay? Part of it wasn't to do with the players. Part of it was, because people were like, you don't watch the live streams. No, I don't. And I don't even have time to watch 3 days a week of it, to be honest with you. It's too much. And all this stupid stuff they do, they dedicated like 15 minutes last night to the mastermind. I don't care, okay? I don't care about the career of Frankie Grandy. I really don't. I don't care about these people. I just don't. These people that were on the show 20 years ago. Put them on an all-star show and I'll watch it. I want old school Big Brother. I don't need the Hotel Mystere. I don't need the battery just went to the halfway mark. I don't need the Hotel Locust. I don't need all that crap, okay? I want the old school Big Brother game is what I want. And it's interesting because I really thought it was down to 2 people. And then what happened in the finale, I was very, very happy about. It was like what I was hoping for would happen. But what was interesting was that I did not realize, you talk about like jury management, like this whole season they've talked a lot about building your resume, building your resume, building your resume. This season proved that jury management is more important than building your resume. That's all I will say. Because I think somebody went to that finale thinking that they were going to win and they didn't win. So I watched that last night. It was 2 hours. I fast forwarded through some of it. Like the HOH competitions and stuff. I was ready for the show to be over. But anyway, and then after that, I watched Sister Wives, the premiere of season 20, and I took notes, did my video today. Oh my God, I had so much fun doing that last night. So I took notes and did my Sister Wives reaction today, but I watched that last night. And then what else did I watch last night? Something else. By then, after reading and stuff like that, by then it was kind of late. And then I was like, well, I don't know what I want to watch. And so I was going through, I was going to watch Black Rabbit on Netflix just because it's like top 10. But in all honesty, I'm not really that interested in it. A couple people, I think Caroline told me she really, really liked it. I think Tanya said she really liked it. A couple people have told me they really liked it. I'm not a huge Jason Bateman fan. That's part of the problem. And Ozark, I feel like I'm watching Ozark right now. I'm halfway through. I don't know that I want to watch 2 Jason Bateman shows. So I was like, the camera stopped. We're at an hour. I was like, I don't know that I really want to watch Black Rabbit. Then I was like, okay, I haven't watched this newest season of Yellowjackets, so I was going to go and watch that. This is how I feel about Yellowjackets. And I know, I love the show too, okay? But last season, they ended it on a cheat. I don't like when they do that. I don't like when in the last 2 minutes of a show, they kill off a main character. I think it's bullshit. And the show's been out for a year, okay? So I'm not ruining it for everybody. I didn't say who it was. But I can't stand when they do that kind of stuff. And I'm sure they explain it in season 3. But this is how Yellowjackets has been from the beginning, and I'm real over it. This is how I stop watching a show, okay? Is they have carried this storyline on now for 3 seasons of this soccer team out in the middle of nowhere. And are they doing something voodoo? I don't know. It don't make no sense to me. Some people make it, some people don't. What did you bring back from the woods? What was the evil entity you brought back from the woods? I don't care, okay? At this point, this is where I feel about Yellowjackets. This is why I'm so hesitant to watch next season. Because if the next season, if the 3rd season I think it is, if they're going to show some real stuff in it and be like, oh wow, we didn't know this or we didn't know that. But if it's going to be another season of just carrying us along until the very last episode when they throw something explosive out for season 4, I'm done. I'm out. Like, I will tell you right now, I will not watch season 4 of Yellowjackets. I think the show is fantastic. I love that Melanie, whatever her name is, that plays the main star. I love the people in it. I think Christina Ricci is fantastic in it. Christina Ricci, I love the people that are in it. I think the storyline is fantastic. I think the writing is great. This carrying it on, other shows have done this too. Found, this is how Found lost me, okay? They kept that person in the basement, that guy from Saved by the Bell or whatever, then they get him out of the basement, and then he's trying to get her, okay? Like, that part of the story just needed to end. We need to find out what happened in the woods. And if I don't find out in season 3 what happened in the woods and why they brought this, I know I'm getting real passionate about this, what evil they brought back, then I don't care anymore. I'm going to be real honest with you. Like, something serious is going to have to happen in season 3 for me to be like, oh, I am in it to win it. I'm not about those shows anymore where they cliffhang you until season 20. And then the show gets canceled because everybody has checked out 4 seasons ago. I'm over it. I'm over it. And that's how I am kind of with Yellowjackets. The 2nd season when it came out, I was so ready to watch it. But that's where I'm at with Yellowjackets. It's like The Old Man, too, with Jeff Bridges. I haven't watched that yet because they kind of did the same thing, you know? Like, I like when shows end conclusively on a season, and if it catches up to another season. What did I just watch the other day? Was it Wayward? No, Wayward kind of ends conclusively. Oh, Billionaire's Bunker. I got done with that show and I was like, is this the end of it? I looked up the end of it and everything after I was talking about it on the vlog, after I got done vlogging. And it was like, oh, this is the ending explained. I'm like, no, I watched the ending. Your explanation does not end. No, that is too much assumption, okay? That show was not that deep. Like, I don't love it when they're like, assuming that there was going to be a season 2. And half of these shows that I watch don't even get a season 2, so that you don't even find out what happens. I think it's a cheat. I'm over that. If you're going to put out these limited edition series of 8 to 10 episodes, each season I think should have a conclusive ending. If you are so lucky that you get a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th season, like Only Murders in the Building always does this, right? Like, it ends, the murder is solved, it goes on. Something will happen at the very end of the next episode that's like, oh, like, could there be another mystery? But if it never happened, if another season never happened, it's not like you'd be awake at night being like, what happened? These shows where you've invested 8 to 10 episodes only to find out nothing at the end of it, I'm done with it. And there's enough TV shows out there to watch. I'm done with it. So last night I was like, Yellowjackets, The Old Man. I loved both of those shows. I still love those shows. And I know people have been asking me why I haven't watched Yellowjackets. That's why. Because I know I'm just going to get to the end of it and I'm just going to be like, okay, so we have to wait for season 4 now or something. But anyway, so last night, I'd seen this thing come up on the Facebook somewhere about this new BritBox show that's on Stars called, Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Where's your wife tonight?
She's at a meeting.
Oh, okay. Well, have a good one.
Okay.
So I saw this thing on Facebook about this new show on BritBox called The Dublin Murders. So I was going to I was going to start some new show. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to. Somebody is like cleaning out their jewelry drawer, and they're like, "What did he just say?" Somebody's husband just looked up from his book and said, "What did Peter just say?" I didn't do it, and I did say it, but I didn't do it. Anyway. People recommended that Shetland to me on BritBox. It's 9 seasons. Okay, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do Grey's Anatomy. So I was like, no, I'm not doing the Shetland show. So I started watching this Dublin Murders. I think it just came out. I don't know, or last year, I don't know. But anyway, it's 8 episodes, and it reminds me kind of like a more modern version of Broadchurch. So it's this man and woman that are detectives, and it takes place in Dublin, but like a very like kind of like country area of Dublin. I mean, it's like coal. I think it's like they say it's like where the coal miners are and stuff like that. And they find this girl's body on like this altar out in the middle of the woods. But both of them, the detectives, you find out have like this history to them that kind of plays into this case. And so, but they both know about it, but nobody else knows about it. And so he doesn't know her history, but she knows his. You guys, it's really good. So I started that last night. I think I only watched like 2 episodes, and then I was like, you need to go to bed. So I watched those 2 last night. Yeah, that was my night. It was a good night. It was a good night. Read a lot, watched a lot of good TV. So tonight, I'm going to catch up on Life After Lockup. And then I'll probably watch an episode. I might tomorrow do my reaction to Life After Lockup. Oh, and Big Brother. Then tomorrow night, I can watch... Do I hear it raining? There's no way. There's not a cloud in the sky. That doesn't mean anything in Indiana. Then tomorrow night, I'll probably watch Welcome to Plathville, episode of that. Tonight, I'm going to watch more of this Dublin Murders. The problem is, okay, I was thinking about this last night. There are so many shows that I want to watch. You guys, I'm not even like that Smoke on Apple. I want to watch. There's like 5 Apple shows. Severance season 2, Smoke, Slow Horses is on the 5th season. I thought it was only on season 1. I want to watch that. There are so many shows on Apple that I want to watch. There are so many shows on HBO Max, Netflix that I want to watch. And I just keep on like, I don't even add them to my, so I have a list of shows to binge for 2025. I don't even add them to my list of shows to binge anymore because there are too many on there. I just add them to my watch list on whatever, but then the watch list just gets longer and longer and longer. What's the person to do? So little time, so many shows to watch. I love watching shows. Alex is completely caught up on Love Island Games. And now he's almost done with The Summer I Turned Pretty. And he told me what he's going to watch. Oh, Wednesday? I still want to watch Wednesday. I'll probably watch Wednesday next. And then he told me what he's going to watch next after this. My husband, see, I like when I'm watching a show at night, you know, I'll take the dogs out, get their harnesses on and everything. I'll make a cup of coffee. I go change the laundry. So there's like 15, 20 minutes in between each episode. You know what I mean? Alex will sit there and he just binge. He can get done with a show in an afternoon. No, seriously. I'm still struggling with that. But anyway, I'm really excited about reading that Frida McFadden book tonight. And the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. God. There is kind of a little bit of a mystery in it, but it's not like a big mystery. But anyway, that's my life today. You guys having a good day? We got one more day of September tomorrow. Can you even believe it? Then it's Halloween. Oh my God. Then it's Halloween. It's October 1st. So, on Wednesday. All right, and then Cousin Caroline's picking me up on Wednesday. We're having brunch with our family friend, and then we're going to go run errands. And then I have nothing this week. And Alex has nothing. I said, well, you'll probably have 4 dinner dates by the end of the week. He goes, I don't know, we'll see. He has like no meetings, no social things at all this week. So I don't know. It's going to be a lazy week. It's going to be, I don't have therapy this week. We don't have marriage counseling this week. We have marriage counseling next week. Our therapist is on like fall break this week. So we like moved everything like a week up. Whereas his daughter is on fall break. So we moved everything like a week up. So anyway, that's it. And yeah. So I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Monday. I didn't even, like feel like the need to start my day over today. But I will say I am a big believer in, if I had never felt better, I probably just would have taken the day off, in all honesty, and then just vlogged later. But I am a big believer, this is what I was talking about in recovery, of putting one foot in front of the other. And just, there were days in early sobriety where I thought, I cannot do this. Like, I cannot do this. And there have been a lot of days in the last year with the anxiety and losing Boo and just everything coming together in the last couple of years where I just was like, I can't. I don't even know how to process this. And thank God I have a therapist and a sponsor and friends around me and you guys that give me a place to talk about this. I'm so thankful for that. But I am a believer in putting one foot in front of the other. And then if that doesn't work, then doing the best you can, to just, I don't know. But that's what I did today. And I know it's like easier said than done, and there are days that I don't push through. And I know that there's a lot of you out there that are really suffering from chronic health issues and mental health issues and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that for everybody, and for me even, on a lot of days, that's not the answer, Just be kind to yourself, and please make yourself a priority always, even when it doesn't seem like it's possible. Treat yourself kindly. And even if you can't give yourself everything you need, at least acknowledge what you feel like you deserve. And I hope things, whatever you're going through, will get better. And I'm grateful today that this day that started off where I just felt kind of all over the place ended up being a really, really good day. I'm really grateful for that. A lot of people in sobriety will say today's a good day to be sober. And I always think that's kind of an interesting comment because I feel like every day is a good day to be sober. And the battery is flashing at me and my favorite neighbor's walking by. Hey, how are you? So I got to get off here. But I do feel like every day is a good day to be sober. And every night my prayers I always thank my higher power for another day alive. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for you guys. I love you so much. Hope you guys are having a magically amazing Monday and a fantastic beginning to your week. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you.